Happy Sunday, brother. How you doing, man?
Hey, not too bad. How you doing? How you
Not
doing?
too bad, not too bad. It's been oh my gosh, we took like our first week off.
You made it back from Vegas.
I did barely.
And
But
technically we didn't take a week off because we still did the Mando live stream.
that is true. We did the Mando live stream. It was great for you guys. I was so upset. I was so upset, dude. I was upset.
I
I
know.
was mad as heck. I'm like, I can't, I have no connection here. I was going crazy. But man, what a great episode to kind of go out on. It was definitely a little bit too abbreviated, but I did feel like I got to see some cool stuff as far as like, effects wise happen with the Mandalorian. So it was a good situation, but if people want to see that, they should watch that last episode. So I won't recap my feelings on that.
Oh, it's been long enough. We can talk about it if you want to.
It's been so great. And it
And
was so
actually,
great too to have our
before we
friends
get
with us too.
into tonight, though, some
Oh
people
yeah.
are asking, "How was Vegas?" I want to know.
Vegas
What'd you?
Vegas was great. Vegas was great. I got to see our good friend Lucifer. I got to meet her family and I got to meet Will and Catherine. I got to hang out with Frank and Sonny from Into the West. A couple of great guys. I know
Mm,
you're gonna be stopping by and seeing them this next week. So that was really cool too. And there was a lot of people I missed, unfortunately. I wanted to see Blue Lantern, but he got busy. I got busy. It was a little bit bonkers. Overall, though, it was a really great time. Las Vegas is super cool, and I can't wait to go again next year. And I'm really thinking, Theo, I'm really thinking we definitely got to be out there at the same time next year. 100%.
I'm down. Well, I'm going to be in Vegas at the end of what's today? Sunday. Yeah, at the end of this upcoming week. I'm like, dude, am I going there tomorrow? No, no, no. Okay, I'm going at the end of next week, this upcoming week for Amazing Con.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to tune in, I'll probably be doing lots of streams on Whatnot, giveaways. I'm dropping an exclusive. A bunch of great people. Danielle, Guru. I'll be staying with Desired Comics and Godly Comics. We're going to be going out of our way to give Phil here a little bit more FOMO. So, you know,
Yeah, it's going to be like that. What's up, Harm's Way, Chad? Yeah, I'm definitely jealous. I do miss the rest of our friends. I'm really glad I got to see the people I did, but there were some people that I didn't even know were there that I missed entirely. But I'm looking forward to the next time when I can make it for the convention. 100%. There's also something really cool going on in Vegas this week called CinemaCon. And so you guys can believe
yeah.
there's going to be some crazy new trailers dropping this week. Now, the thing to know about CinemaCon is it is strictly for the press and people that are actually in cinema. Like they own cinemas. They're, talking about how to make changes in, the way that they present video. Talking about the DPI, talking about the new kinds of chairs, things that to really get us back into the cinema again. And that might be a cool conversation for us to have as well, Theo, was some of the stuff I brought back from there on what theaters are doing to really try and get back us, because I mean we all have giant big screens at home, right? We've got this great experience. Why do we go to the movie theaters? Is it for the crappy popcorn, for the overpriced candy, for the recliners that we all already own ourselves? It's usually for these big giant screens and these IMAXs, and they're really trying to actually progress these cameras into such a way that is basically 3D no matter where you're sitting and without the glasses. So I mean, it's really neat to see the stuff that's coming out of these places. And CinemaCon is dropping new trailers and new shows being announced all this week. So you guys are probably going to hear from Theo and I a few times once the stuff starts to drop.
Well, I think you were mentioning CinemaCon. They show like exclusive trailers that you get to see first before the general population, right?
Yeah, nobody else can go to these except people in the press and the cinema. So like as a fan, like you and I, it doesn't matter who we know. If we're not a member of the press and not recognized press, we don't get in. If we do not work for a cinema, we do not get in. There's no fan passes per se. This is 100% industry only. And they are dropping lots of new exclusives, including Sony is going to be dropping a new Into the Spider-Verse trailer and information. some other projects they've got going on. This might even involve some of that Madam Web project. We might be seeing some stuff on that from what's coming out with Amazon. There's gonna be hella news dropping this week, and people just don't know, which is cool. That'll give us a bit of a head start. So I'm really excited about that.
Well,
Very
then
excited.
I think going forward in the future, that might be one to really keep an eye on, because we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, like Fantastic Four, X-Men, Secret War, stuff like that.
It
If I
is
could,
rumored.
I can see that stuff first. Book me in there, dude.
It is rumored that the Fantastic Four is getting announced to CinemaCon. The cast. It is rumored.
Did you hear about Adam Driver as Reed Richards?
Yeah, and I can take that. Adam Driver is a good actor.
Be honest with me. Be honest.
I mean, I don't think of him as, I've seen him in so many different roles now. I've seen him in so many different roles because I used to get stuck with the Kylo Ren. I was stuck with the Kylo Ren concept. And to me, that's not Mr. Fantastic. But the roles that I have seen him play, being father, being genius, being all these different other characters that he has played in the meantime, I can see it. I can see it because just Adam Driver is just that good of an actor. I don't know if I see him. I don't know if I see him, but I see him as an actor able to do it, man. I do. I do.
No.
Who's better? Who's better? Who's gonna do a better bet? Penn Badgley could do it maybe, but I like it.
I don't know, just not him.
Are you still stuck on the emo Sith? Is this an emo Sith issue?
No, I'm imagining him. Okay, short haircut, little gray. I just don't see it. Not my Reed Richards. I would prefer if they just recasted the guy that already played Reed Richards.
You mean the first guy? The first guy, or
not the bad one that just came out. The one with Jessica Alba and everybody else. Yeah.
Oh man, I hated him. Oh come on, I don't need a soap opera guy.
He at least looks like a Reed Richards. Okay, I need somebody that looks the part and acts the part. Okay, that's what I need.
I can see it. I can see it. Maybe we should bring on some people to give us a hand with that. By the
way, guys, it's open mic. Let's put the link in the chat.
Let's maybe do that. Let's drop an intro, guys, and let's get rolling here.
We didn't even do the intro.
We didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, let the show begin. Another great intro from Posh.
Nice job, Posh.
Got
my good side.
Got my fat side.
Yeah, see, there you go. Blue Lantern. No. His Kylo Ren ruined this actor for me. Yes, emo tall child with a lightsaber. Yes. Not my Reed Richards, bro. No way.
No way. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it's true, I'm hoping to be blown away, but that's only just because I've just seen his work. I don't know if I see him as the actor. Honestly, at the end of the day, dude, I am so disenfranchised as of lately with the MCU. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out to Gabriel Michaels. He says, to be honest, I'm really bummed that the premium channel stopped doing the same day streaming theater release. Only theater runs I've been going to is the sneak previews at the Smithsonian. Oh, that's cool.
That is cool, actually. I didn't even know they did that.
Shout out to the Super Mario Brothers for completely annihilating the box office.
Dude. Yeah. They're going.
That's how you know a movie's good, when Rotten Tomatoes gives it like a 40 and the audience gives it like a 90 freaking 5, dude. Okay?
Dude, they're going for what's the word I'm looking for? Numbers. They're going for Avatar numbers.
Bro, they're going for the throat.
Yeah, they're going for the throat.
About this when we first started our channel. We said Mario would be the unicorn. That would be, if there was one movie to make noise this year. Remember, we said this.
We did.
It was going to be Mario.
It was.
And
It
look, they
was.
already crossed $1 billion.
Dude. We had a good prediction, Theo. We had one very good. You know what we need to do is we need to find that in the archive real quick, pull that out, lace that up with this. That's a reel for tomorrow. Phil's got homework.
We
Phil's
should.
got homework.
We should. We called it.
Because no, you're absolutely right. And it was something that privately we had been kind of trying to think of what was going to be the biggest movie with a bunch of friends, and then we were just like, gosh, but Super Mario, the nostalgia bug, everything else, the people involved, like how can you mess that up?
I took my whole
And they
family,
haven't.
me, the wife, and all 3 kids. I mean, that's 5 tickets alone. Like, I love
Yeah.
John Wick, right? I love John Wick, but that was 1 ticket.
But you can't take the kids to see it either, you
Right.
know? And the cool thing is with Mario, and that's something you and I discussed too, the reason why it was going to make so much money is not just because of the family sales, because it's then with the grandparents sales, and then it's with the friends again later sales and things of that nature. Like that's a movie, if it's a hit and that nostalgia is creeping through the way in which it will have multiple viewings by multiple family members. And that's what pushes family movies so high. And that's what a lot of people that get very upset with, like, but the Snyderverse was so awesome and deep. It should be the best movie ever made. But it was so dark, you can't take your kids to it. And grandma and grandpa aren't going to want to come and watch it either. And let alone take the grandkids to go see it too. So those movies, no matter how much we want them to, how much we want them to be like the best thing, box office breakers every single time, when you get too serious, it does take out a large portion of that audience that a movie can be seen. And that's why these things still have to have some kind of family appeal, some kind of something like that to really be the record breakers we want them to be. Not everything can be a Deadpool or a Joker kind of thing where, adults even see it multiple times.
Right.
These things need some family to be really able to pull those numbers. And that's what does matter. That is what does matter.
And Gabriel, we will be talking about King later on in this episode. Yes, sir.
We will. And for those that don't know, we did drop a link in the chat. If you are interested in joining, please do scroll up, or you know what? I'll drop it in here again now. We'll see if anybody wants to hop on in and say hello.
Favorite movie, Doctor Strange. We don't say the D word here. All right,
Dan.
We don't say the D word here.
I'm going to put Dan in banned box. He's not allowed to talk anymore. But there was a couple of things that we did want to talk about tonight for sure. Number one was the CGC price changes.
Chad.
And
come on in, Chad. Show us some shrimp.
Oh gosh, deveining shrimp. Boy, that sounds just gross. Sounds like you got your hands covered in shit. We want to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy coming out this next week. We want to talk about what else were we going to talk about? Oh yeah, Blip.
We're going to talk about the recent sale on the Nintendo Power 9.8 newsstand.
Yeah.
Nintendo Power 9.8 newsstand.
Hey, well, we have a guest, Theo. We have Doc Michaels is joining the chat. All right, Doc, we're going to bring you on in here real quick. How you doing, brother?
How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I'm not getting it.
Let's switch over a little bit to the side.
First time I've seen you, sir. Welcome in. Oh, my camera's breaking on me again. There we go. Love it.
Oh, Theo's back in the Matrix.
He's spazzing.
So how's it going, Doc? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Whoa.
You go right ahead. Can you hear me okay?
I've got a delay about like 10 seconds. Give me a second.
Oh, no worries. Hey, Mikey.
Hey. Better.
How we doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Not too bad. It's good to see you again. Mikey, Doc, special guest this evening. Doc, why don't you introduce yourself here first real quick?
Name's Gabe Michaels. I'm active duty U.S. Navy, stationed in Fort Detrick, Maryland. Been buying a lot of stuff from Theo lately, and that's really hitting the pocketbook. But been collecting again since 2015. I stopped about the time that Age of Apocalypse happened, mid 90s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's really about it. I'm big into the Star Wars stuff, as Phil can attest to. Yeah.
High
What
five,
do you want to
brother.
know?
Nice to meet you. Thank you for your service, by the way. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Very much so, brother. And thank you for your support, because we have been starting some new Star Wars conversations, as he is very much well aware. One of our frequent flyers, Gabe,
Yeah.
trying to help us
I
out.
could be very, very talkative about that. So,
Well, I guess we need our next open mic night on Star Wars night, so you can hop in on that one, because I
okay.
got a feeling we've all got some long conversations there.
Definitely.
Mikey, how about you, brother? Tell us a little bit about yourself. It's been a minute since we've had you on the show.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. Mikey Comics, owner, one of the owners of Totally Awesome Comics here in Mebane, North Carolina, and yeah, just a fan of the show, just a longtime supporter, But no, yeah, no, just just wanted to come and chill with you guys and talk about some comics and chaos.
Talks about some comics in chaos. Absolutely, Mikey. And it is always a pleasure, brother. I am sorely underdressed, obviously, for Mikey to be stopping by. I'm here in my Baja. We got the man, the myth, the legend, the tie and vestige. I have to show my vestige to my friend Mikey.
Don't worry, sir. When we're at a Comic-Con, I got you.
Yeah, then Mr. Wick comes a walking every single time. So, Theo, where do we want to start topic wise this evening? What's your
we're
thoughts?
talking about Mario, so let's go into the Nintendo Power. Let's see what the panel has to say. Let's see what the chat has to say about this one. So if you go to Instagram and you go to Go Collect, it should be like right there. There should be a post that's like right there. So, okay, you got the Blip up there on screen.
Yep.
You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this me and Phil had a conversation about this one. This gives me a lot of red flags right now, guys. I don't know if this is, dare I say, market manipulation or what. But recently we had a Nintendo Power 9.8 newsstand copy, cool, newsstand copy, sell for $108,000 via Heritage. $108,000. What you're looking at in front of you was a Blip 1, 9.8, which is the first appearance of Mario. What was the sale on there? Let me double check that one again. Oh, look at that. Less than $1,500. Okay. Granted, it's not a newsstand. So let's say if it was a newsstand, why don't we just be generous and say 5,000? How's that? That's 4 times that. Okay. We're being generous there. We'll say 5,000. How's that? Yeah, fuck it. We'll say 10,000. 10,000.
I just want to know who saved all these things in 9.8. Like,
so here's the thing, right?
The Wizard.
Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power.
That came out in what? 88? 1988. When did the Blip come out? When did the Blip come out?
I don't remember.
What did it say on
it? Was about 5 years before.
So, okay, so 5 years before, 1983. Okay, so it came out 5 years before. Guys, explain this to me. How does the Nintendo Power go for 6 digits?
Nostalgia. It's all nostalgia. Nobody, I've never even heard of Blip before, but Nintendo Power, everybody and their mother had that.
That's I have to go with Gabe on that though too, Theo, because I mean at the end of the day it's still Nintendo Power versus Blip. I mean it's not
$100,000.
No,
but that just goes to the power of Nintendo.
This, bro. Okay, 100,000. You go get a sealed Mario Super Brothers 3. What you talking about?
But that's all right for that.
That's heritage money, though. This is people with stupid money.
This isn't the third. This isn't the fourth, fifth. This is like what, the 20th appearance.
But it's the first Nintendo Power. It's the first Nintendo Power. It's not just
you want to throw it on the table and see who's got the biggest, and that's what.
And it's heritage too. It's heritage. It's the land where stupid money talks.
Bananas, okay, I'm sorry. Congratulations to the seller.
Oh, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's the only reasoning I can think of.
Whoever the buyer is, I hope this is a grail to you. Okay.
I gotta wonder about who was bidding against him.
Timing of this with the movie, I really hope this just wasn't a hype buy. That's all I'm saying.
What did it start
It
at?
wasn't a hype buy. I hope there's no market manipulation here. because I think it's sad that this went for that much, and the first appearance barely clears 2K. That's all I'm saying. This would never happen with a Wolverine, a Superman, anything.
Yet.
No.
Never.
I agree.
You show me where, a Superman, what do you want to say?
Action Comics kind of thing.
Like a Superman 50 or something would go for more than an Action Comics 1?
Yeah.
Well, it could be.
So we're talking like what? This is like the character's like 20th appearance.
But I don't think it has anything to do with Mario. I don't think it has shit to do with Mario. I think it's got everything to do with the fact it was Nintendo Power #1.
The name, the brand.
I think it's Marvel versus Aftershock. I think it's Nintendo Power versus Blip. That's the only thing I can think of, because it can't be Mario at this point. It can't be Mario. The only thing it can be is an immaculate cover of the most iconic Nintendo characters of all time, of the most iconic video game magazine ever. There is no more iconic video game magazine than
And
Nintendo
cover
Power.
price, how are you guys? I completely agree with you. It's damn near impossible to find this in high grade. I'm not arguing that point. I'm arguing 108,000.
108 is huge. I'm not saying it's 108K.
That's what I'm arguing, okay?
Cover price said hold my beer. Let me show you some facts.
Somebody's just like,
go buy an Audi. Like an R8 is $100,000.
Bro, it was insane.
Okay, 108,000. You could have got a Blip 1. You could have probably got a sealed Super Mario Brothers 3. You probably could have got a Nintendo sealed in box. I mean, you probably could have got a lot of things for $108,000. It has to do with Mario that probably has more historical significance and long-term value. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know if it's going to have, I don't know if Blips has more historical significance though than Nintendo Power, because Nintendo Power was a part of a phenomena of video game culture at home. Blip wasn't. Video games at home wasn't what it is when Nintendo came in and took over. When the NES showed up, the world for home gaming changed. I mean, I remember when they came out, and I remember being one of those kids that did not get an NES for Christmas. Yeah, mom and dad watching on the Rewind. Yeah, I didn't get an NES for Christmas, and I never forgot.
That's why Phil's the way
I know they're the two people that watched.
If you remember, Nintendo Power had that really big, I don't know, it wasn't a sale, it was a subscriber thing where you subscribed for a year and you got Dragon Quest 1, and that was like the biggest selling game of ever. Yeah. Even though it wasn't really sold, it was given away, but all those people, that's how they got into the magazine and they started collecting it. But again, like, who thought at that time to save a Nintendo Power 1
Not me.
In a mint or near mint condition? Like,
right.
Seriously.
I wish I had, because honestly, I got it just for the FOMO of seeing all my friends with Nintendos, and I wanted to be able to talk about it. I did. I wanted to be able. I was so bad. I called those Nintendo 900 numbers. Do you guys remember that? The hotlines to talk to what is it, like a wizard gamer or whatever the heck it was that they called them, like, you know, they're specialists. I remember calling, and I remember my parents being like, what in the hell is this on the phone bill? Like a couple weeks later. And I had to explain to them, like, oh, I didn't know it was going to cost $1.99 a minute. But I wanted to know what all of these other kids had and what was going on, and how I could be like, oh yeah, I know that one. It's just, you got to do this here, and listen to them for just 15 minutes. And $30 later and a kick in the ass, you know, I never called it again, but I got a Game Boy and that was cool. But the Nintendo was where it was at. And I remember spending a lot of time at my neighbor's house playing Contra and Mario, and Contra was definitely one of my favorites because again, that Konami code up front, nothing felt like that. But to me, that's the only reason why. Because I remember when we were first thinking about it, Theo, I was thinking of it as Mario. And I completely agreed. Like, that made no sense for this to be a purchase for Mario. But the more I thought about it, it was a purchase about Nintendo Power. It wasn't about Mario. It was about Nintendo Power to me.
That Blip cover's ugly as shit.
Are we getting into the Hulk 180 versus 181 conversation now for good looking covers?
But look, no, if you put that on the wall, I have to explain what it is. If
I
put
agree.
Nintendo Power 1 on the wall, you know what Mario is. Yeah. Like, it's self-explanatory. Plus, I don't know. It's just something about that cover. The Blip. I mean, I respect it. Like, okay, history. Yes, I get it. But that is an ugly cover. It's not.
Oh, it's
I do
hideous.
have to agree with that.
It's hideous.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But that Nintendo Power is just insane.
Now, could it be one of those ones where, remember a few months back when that Ombre Arana cover, the one where it was like one that's not canon. It's the one where Gwen Stacy survived and she married Peter Parker. Like it's like an infamous one. You think it could be something like that where it's just like a one-off, like, you know, the rest of the books in that entire run aren't worth anything. And this one could just be just a really high grade, you know, a really high grade exception. And it could just be, you know, like someone said, Heritage. I swear, Heritage books there's no rhyme or reason. Like I said before, it's just two dudes in a room, or a dude in a room and one dude on a chat who just wants to show, you know, hey, I got the bigger wallet. So I don't know. I think it could be a little bit of both there.
It could be. I mean, it definitely could be.
That one is how do you know that is a confirmed sale? Like, how do we know that didn't get canceled 24 hours later?
I mean, I'll be honest. I would rather have this one.
Look at that.
Doesn't even look like Mario, too. Look at it. Look at the reverse coloring.
It's like claymation.
I mean, I'd rather have the Super Mario Brothers 1 from 1990 Valiant, the white cover.
Oh, yeah, that'd be dope.
If I was going to get a Mario cover, I would go.
But that's if I'm getting a Mario cover. But this is Super Mario 2 as well, right? You know, I mean, that just kind of goes to show you as well that this was the sequel. This was about the sequel game. This was all about Nintendo Power to me. To me, this was 100% about the fact it was that big ass logo across the top, Nintendo Power, in a 9.8.
Like Robot Chicken, to be 100% honest. Like if I saw that on a sketch from Robot Chicken, I'd be like, oh, it's pretty accurate. So,
but if I saw this dude, I feel like I just got we're his mom and we just walked in on him looking at Pornhub.
Yeah, no,
it's like
I was doing homework.
It was a pop-up, Mom. I have no idea. It was just a pop-up.
First Mario, first Donkey Kong.
What is that? Tron? What game is he playing?
It almost looks like the old Star Wars one, but the controller from.
Yeah, but the other stuff on the border reminds me a bit of Tron. I don't know.
That'd be amazing if it was Tron.
But you're right. It definitely looks like he got caught doing something he's not supposed to be.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, and they're like, put him on the cover.
That's it. You got it.
That's our cover.
We've been waiting all day for this shot.
By the way, guys, open mic. Link is in the chat. If anybody wants to join, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
Got confirmation. It's Tron.
It is Tron. So there you go, guys. First appearance of Tron.
Someone in the chat just said it. Feels like book it. It's the gospel.
That's all that matters. Lou said it. That's as good as gold. No, Mom, no. Yeah, and I don't know who TV star Matthew Labrador is. Labradors. Anyways, yeah. Obviously, he was going for a serious role after this with that Band-Aid on his hand too. Look at that Band-Aid on his hand right down there. The only one.
He was going for the record.
Yeah,
he's going for something.
Yeah.
I tell you what. But yeah, I it's definitely the thing about Heritage, and this is something we had a conversation with about with our friends with the Fantastic Comic Collection, Theo. You know, Heritage knows how to get the right people in the room, right? They know the collectors that want these kinds of books, and they know when that top tier one comes open, they spend the time to find the right people to get the right people in the room to have this auction. And to me, in my mind, this was Heritage doing their homework, getting the right kinds of nostalgia Nintendo collectors in the room. And this was the most immaculately known copy of Nintendo Power in existence up for buys. And I don't know, Hiromoto himself came out and decided to be like, I want that. It's mine. You never know. Oh, we got another guest. Who is it this time? Returning. I think this is like our golden jacket wear. I think this has got to be his 5th or 6th appearance at this point. Jeff,
Yeah,
What's up,
look at
gents?
this guy.
what's going on, you gorgeous son of a gun? How you doing, brother?
Oh man, just missing all you guys.
It was
Dude,
Jeff.
we miss you
who
too,
voted.
bro.
Hey, I'll see you soon,
You
sir.
know?
I will see you soon.
Must be nice. We were talking about the Nintendo Power sale, Jeff. That huge $108,000 sale.
Let's get Jeff's opinion before I move to the next
Yeah.
topic.
What were your thoughts on that?
I think that was a steal of a pickup. I mean, I dropped that at 107.5.
Only that much.
This
Oh,
motherfucker,
man.
dude.
Listen, there's like, what is there? There's just probably, I'm assuming there's one copy, okay? And I don't know if you've
You
ever
bought
had
it, didn't
Nintendo
you?
Powers.
You're the
No,
one
I
that
did
bought
not.
it. Yeah.
I don't want it. I want it, but I don't need it in a 9.8. Okay. I look. I used to get Nintendo Power. I got that in the mail. I know that book, or I bought it. I don't even remember the hell I got, but I had it as a kid. Okay. And yes, Super Mario #2 was a weird freaking game, man. That game was so different over the first one and the third one. So it was odd, but yeah, I tell you, those magazines are already hard. That paper was garbage. So to see the 9.8, and there's probably only a reason there's one 9.8, unless there's a case of them somewhere hiding. But $108,000, I still can't explain it. That's a little.
That was Heritage doing their job.
If you asked me,
be honest with me. Does that seem appropriate?
no, if you asked me, what would this sell at a 9.8? There's only one copy. You know, I don't know how many 9.6s there are either. I would have probably have said maybe 15,000, maybe. You know, that's about where I probably would have gone with it.
I could live with
but
that.
108.
Okay, but
Woo,
He missed the zero.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, this book. This guy looks like some predator.
but
He
you
caught
see what
some
I'm saying?
predator
It's
taking a photo of him.
this is my point right here. This is the
Lord.
first appearance of Mario in comic books. 9.8s at the Blip one only sell for about $1,400 on average.
Mm-hmm.
And what was new from Marvel Comics in that issue too? Does anybody know what the new thing was from Marvel Comics that was showing up on that? When you look here at the, well, that's not going to be the good view. When you look down here, this big yellow new from Marvel Comics, what the hell is that? You know,
It's not the first issue, is it?
No.
was Marvel Comics
not.
was Marvel Comics? Did Marvel Comics make Blip?
I think. Oh, I don't know who made Blip, but I think I have a Blip somewhere here.
I have to look now.
Hold on,
No, it is from Marvel. I'm looking at, so it is from Marvel. Okay, let me do it. Let me show everybody. This is per cover price. It was issued by Marvel on February 1st, 1983.
I was too.
The first appearance of Donkey Kong and Mario.
Yeah, Marvel Comics. You're right.
With the world's ugliest cover.
Man.
And it is
And then
issue
we
one, so that's why it's
It's
an
one. It's not two. Okay.
And then we've got just the first Nintendo Power issue. Here you got like a look at the difference in sales. It's ridiculous. Not as many reported raw versus slabbed. A lot of people are getting these slabbed, man.
Well, especially
Versus
now.
Blip. Most
I mean,
common
kinda-
slab, $5.79.
Ugh.
I have a whole bunch of Nintendo Powers at the shop. I'm about to send in on Monday, man.
There you go. Newsstand.
Most common slabbed in a 9.4, 623.
That's insane. Most common, a few grades from perfect,
Man, but when it comes down to it, though, guys, when we think really long and hard about what we've got going on here, Theo, we potentially have, with the success of this movie, a connected universe coming. This could be the dawn of the Super Smash universe, right? Let's be honest.
Okay, and I
That's
get
exciting.
that. But if you're talking like 10 years from now, and
But
they
yeah, but that
do
means
stuff
Blip
like the
has room.
Avengers, maybe this is worth that. Not right now.
But that means Blip has room. This is like the first appearance of Captain America and the Hulk, right? Mario and Donkey Kong. That means Blip's got legs.
No. You cannot compare Captain America.
Well, okay. Well, who would Mario be then to the Avengers, right? Who would Mario be? To me, Mario would be Captain America, and Donkey Kong would be Hulk. This would be like having Donkey Kong and Captain America's first appearance.
But
You
one
know,
came out 20
Nick
years
Fury.
before the other.
Mario would probably be Captain America.
Ooh.
I don't know. I can't think of anybody else who would be leading the group,
You
right?
gonna say Link?
Link, maybe.
The
Link
Link's-
would be kind of like Thor to me. Link's like
Yeah, I was
Thor.
gonna say to me, Link's like Thor. Yeah, you're right. Donkey Kong's like
Hulk. We got Peach as Black Widow.
Samus Aran.
You've got that'd be Iron Man. She'd be like she'd be like Iron Man essentially.
Iron Man, there you go. Yeah.
What about Mega Man?
And then
Mega
and then
Man?
you've
Or,
got
I mean,
Bowser. Bowser's legit Thanos. Bowser's Thanos.
By the way, guys,
But-
we got a few slots open. Open mic. The link's in the chat. Anybody can join, guys.
But
Yes,
does Thanos
anybody
have
wants to
pipes
join,
like
hop on
Bowser?
in.
You know.
Yeah, I mean that's but to me that means that's good news though, Theo. That's good news because to me, when I'm thinking about the future of what we just saw of Super Mario in a movie, breaking so many records and still going fine.
Not really the
I
first
could
appearance
see-
though.
I could, but Blip has that room. Blip has the room of, knowing that we've got Mario and we've got
my
Donkey
point, though,
Kong.
is you figure Mario destroying the box office. It's already over $1 billion. The Blip has barely changed in value, right? But the Nintendo Powers clearance 6 did.
It's because that covers so
That's because it was a Nintendo movie, though, too, right?
Yeah,
It's
but-
like
Yeah, but you guys act like the Nintendo Power covers that much better.
Well, it's
It
not,
is.
but it's name
No, come
recognition
on.
though, Theo. Like
It's
nobody
basic.
knows.
it's Marvel Comics versus Aftershock.
That's
right?
branding.
It's-
I would still go for the
Okay.
Super Mario white cover Valiant, the one after Super Mario Brothers 3, which I'm sure most people will agree is probably the best Mario game.
I think I'm going to look for a Blip.
Yeah, get a Blip, but like
I think
obviously
sales-wise-
demand dictates.
I'm pretty
value,
sure
guys. It's
sales
not
wise,
like
Super Mario
scarcity.
Brothers 3 sealed goes for the most money out of all the Mario games as well.
Well, that's because it was the best one.
Exactly.
What about in the universe? I mean, look, I want to ask you guys real quick. Are you more excited? I am, for some reason, more excited for a Nintendo universe than I am with the DC universe.
Oh yeah.
And maybe because I've
Oh,
already
yeah.
seen
He's down.
DC
Yeah.
and I kind of
I'm
know
more
what I'm gonna
excited
get.
about a Nintendo universe than I am about the current Marvel universe.
Well, I'm not going to lie.
I'm about to sleep on
I'm
that
a
one.
little bit excited for the Robert
talking
Pattinson
crazy, Phil.
Batman with Mr. Freeze. I'm a little bit excited for that.
I would be more excited to see Link. I'll be on that with
Yes.
Jeff. I mean, I would be more excited to see Link, Samus Aran. I mean, just seeing a Metroid movie. Could you imagine Samus?
We got
in a
Metroid, Ricky
and- or a
Williams
lot-
is basically Metroid.
I couldn't imagine seeing Zelda and Link and not being on my Switch and being on a big screen, like, and me not having to control anything. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine that to me that's Pent Ultimate. Like
How
that's
about how great is that Castlevania animation anime? Like
oh yeah.
seeing a Castlevania even like somehow fall into this universe. I mean, I don't know how dark they want to get.
I'm gonna pull up the cast of Super Smash Brothers characters real quick.
Ooh.
And
We're gonna
just
get a
think about it.
Which one, though? Are you going to go all the way or are you going to go to the Smash Bros. one?
That's our contest of champions right there. You know,
Where do you want to start?
Can you imagine if they start throwing in Sonic
Secret Wars.
and Pikachu in there?
Kirby,
That's
a
our
Kirby
Secret
movie.
Wars. Yeah.
I've
Secret
never
Wars
played
class.
Smash Brothers.
Oh,
Bro,
So
Bro,
yeah, you've got
Fun.
you're missing out.
I'm a PlayStation guy. Like I stopped. My last Nintendo was the original one.
Mm.
so you've got Mario, Donkey
First and
Kong,
last.
Link, Samus, Yoshi, Kirby, Star Fox, Pikachu, Luigi, Ness, Captain Falcon, and Jigglypuff. So like Captain Falcon, you got F-Zero. Could you like an F-Zero movie? That would be dope. I loved F-Zero, bro.
Falcon,
I loved F-Zero. I
Star
couldn't
Fox and
imagine
F-Zero.
Star Fox better than F-Zero. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
It
But
was.
I would still.
Star
I would
Fox
still-
would be an amazing movie.
Whoa, dude! That's
Star
the original
Fox
cast.
would be amazing.
That's the
Star Fox
original
and Guardians
cast.
of the
That's the original
Nintendoverse.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
that was
original
one of the
Smash Bros.
best games on
characters,
N64, hands down.
like
Could you
that.
imagine
Way
just those
better.
12 characters in one movie together?
I mean, dude, any of those movies, if Pikachu shows up, that's game
Yeah.
over.
Oh my God.
If Pikachu shows up in any of these Nintendo movies,
And if they bring
Ryan
back
Reynolds
Ryan Reynolds
voice
to be a
Pikachu?
voice.
I was just thinking about that. Yes, for the voice.
This money.
Oh, dude. Yeah, those cards are about to go through the roof. But no, I would love that. I would I would love that. That would be a hell of a show.
yeah, I
Look
can
at him
get on that.
Look how ready he is.
I'm sorry,
It's-
man. I'm excited.
Harder to translate the Nintendo universe into a cinematic thing than it would be like the Final Fantasy universe. They've tried that a couple times, but like, let's be honest, the Nintendo games aren't known for their depth of story.
No, they're meant for kids, which makes it easier to write, in my opinion. Right?
I'm going to tell you guys how ready I am for this.
Story. We're talking-
See, so here we go. So he's waiting. Jeff was waiting.
Uh-oh.
Jeff, I'll even give you the big screen because I know this is a reveal. All
This
right.
is real. This is how
This
I'm
is a
ready. How ready
reveal.
I am
It's the
for
Nintendo power.
the Nintendo verse. Okay.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you guys.
Oh shit.
Okay.
We're about to see
You
like
ready?
a saran wrapped stack of Marios.
I'm freaking
Oh,
power
the
glove
power
ready.
glove.
Wow.
If I need to, okay.
Hell
What
yeah,
was the
dude.
movie
It's
that
happening.
featured in back in the 80s?
The Wizard.
That was
The Wizard.
Yeah.
The Wizard with Fred
I'm gonna wear
Savage.
this the
Man.
entire show, guys. This is not going anywhere. 'Cause I'm
That-
ready.
That one kid came out with that case and he cracks it open. There's like this mist coming out. It's the freaking power glove. You're like, what?
Oh,
So dope.
Oh man.
Played Super Mario 3.
yes. Yes. That was a great game. Great game.
So
Jeff
great.
just brought that out. Like he's been waiting all day for this opportunity. Shit, wait till you
It's
see
been
this.
sitting in a box forever. And I was like, hey, I'm going to break this out. I couldn't find my blip. I was like, where's my
And
blip?
you know what? Shout out to Circumstances. He makes a great point. He says, I think Nintendo not being known for story gives them a ton of freedom to tell whatever stories they want.
True.
True.
Kind of like what they did with Mario, right? I mean, that
And,
was
you know,
kind of
Circumstances has
game.
himself a camera too. He should maybe come in here and tell us that himself.
Yeah.
Also, one complaint about the movie was that post-credit scene made no sense.
I haven't
Like,
seen it yet.
I didn't like it at all because it made no sense. Because
Which one? There's
spoiler,
two of them,
it's Yoshi.
Yeah.
I didn't like it
I
because
didn't-
they
I
already
was-
showed Yoshi in the movie.
Yeah. It's
You
true.
showed him,
I was
like-
with you. I felt a little empty. I was like, oh, we kind of saw Yosh already. I
thought
was
it
hoping
like
Link. I
Luigi.
was hoping Link. Oh, yeah.
I was hoping.
Wario. You know,
Oh,
Link.
come
that
on,
was the
bro.
one,
You know damn well we don't care about hairstyles here. Come on.
you know.
Speak for yourself.
Man. But that sale was insane. I mean, so the last time was in August of 22 when an 8.0 sold for $1,500. The highest sale before that was a 9.4 copy that sold in November of 22 for $24,000, right? And then so we jumped
Whoa.
from a 9.6 to a 9.8 to $108,000.
Oh, but I mean,
That's a little more understandable.
That makes sense.
But I mean, we're
because,
coming from COVID money.
Mm.
Yeah.
COVID money is not buying these
That
kinds
was
of
more
books.
COVID money time.
COVID money isn't buying these books, man. Whoever's on COVID, like PE loan or
That's
something,
very true.
you know, or well, maybe
That
PPP loan.
$1,500
paid
check.
for it,
ain't
but,
cutting
like,
it.
yeah.
How much was that glove when it
That's
came
not
out?
gonna do it.
$10, maybe.
I don't
No,
know. I didn't
the
pay
Power
for
Glove?
this
It was
glove when
expensive.
it came out. Yeah,
The Power Glove was
sure
expensive, dude.
It was
Yeah.
so complicated. It was so complicated. As a kid,
So
I was
over
like,
the
"What?
top."
This is like not fun. Give me
Even
back
the
the
games were
controller."
expensive back then. Like
Yeah.
$60 for an 8-bit game. Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
$50.
ridiculous. It was definitely in the realm of $50 or something to that
Yeah.
end. It was almost
The
as much
same
as
price as they are now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it's probably way better made back then. So
But that's in a good condition though, too. That's actually a good condition glove.
yeah, only the
Gosh.
super rich kid had those gloves. Yeah,
I don't know.
feel
I
that.
see a lot of
Power pad.
people with like cracks all over the glove
be.
hand and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
see
I
them
don't
like that
know.
all the time.
I don't know what kind of footprint they use for the hand, but like whoever they use had an extra long pinky, an OK index, a short middle, and a short pointer. Like this pinky is ginormous. Like, I mean,
The
look at the
hands in
difference.
Japan apparently have slightly different fingering.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's not a Japan hand. I'm telling you right now. That is an American hand with a
Oh,
deformity.
Well, you know, we have a lot more hormones in our food here, so you know.
Probably do.
But you know, yeah, that was a great.
Crazy sale, though. Crazy.
That's a great point. Crazy sale. But at the end of the day, I chalk that up to it being Nintendo Power, not about Mario.
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't know. I can see it that way, but if I had to invest in because of character keys, Blip's definitely a way to go when we're thinking about this Nintendo universe coming. I think it's going to matter more than the Mario comic. I mean, for us comic book collectors, sure, you're right. That white cover, 100% dope, loved. But I think when it comes to video game collectors, which we know spend a lot of money too, and there's a lot more of them than there are comic book collectors, when they realize where he first showed up, because they may not yet, they may not care yet, but when they do, Blip's going to take off. That's my guess.
There's
So
worse
Phil
books
has
to
clear
speculate
copies.
on than Blip.
Yeah, there are worse ones.
You
It's
mean
not
like
a
a
bad
Dark
book.
Hawk?
You guys see the new Spider Boy? Should we talk about Spider Boy real quick?
No.
Hey.
Third print. Get the third print coming.
Get the third print.
You know.
I'm not
I was
even-
actually
I'm not
able to
even
snatch a
justified.
copy.
So was I. It's crazy.
Nope.
You got
I saw people selling the first remarks of that today. I was just like, oh, I already got remarks running. So, Theo, we also wanted to touch on the CGC pricing situation.
Oh,
What were your thoughts on that?
So
I'm gonna let you tee that one up because that was more of your baby. I was a bit more into the Nintendo side. I don't slab, so this is going to concern more of the other people in
my
this
whole
chat.
thing with that is I actually don't mind it, and the reason I don't mind it is because it's not a secret that we all, or not, I can't say we all, but it's not a secret that people get books and they might get them for $1, a couple dollars, right? Put a few more dollars into it for a clean and press. We pay for some shipping, we pay for a submission fee, we get our 9.8s back, and we go ahead and we sell that for a couple thousand, right? I mean, it's not a secret that the return on slabbing books has generally always been there. And you got to think about this from a company standpoint. I mean, if that was me and that was my company, and I'm seeing books on Heritage go for $108,000, and the guy only paid me, $100 to grade and slab it, or whatever it is for that type of book, I want some of that pie. And that may be greedy, but hey, at the same point, nobody's making us use that service. We can go to CVCS. We can go
It's
to
only $1 more, right?
right?
It's only
There's
$1
other
difference.
companies that do this.
It's more than
It
that.
was just a matter of time. Everything's going up in value. Gas, mortgages, everything's going up in value, right? Nothing can stay the same.
But is there pressure then? Question.
And the one thing
impartial?
I can give CGC credit for, because I have been submitting a lot lately, their turnaround times are better. Their quality assurance, I can't say has been better, but it's been better than it was in the past. Like they're not perfect, but it's been better than it was last year. Turnaround times are better, and I feel like they're actually grading. I don't want to say a little bit more harsher, but they're maybe giving a little bit more accurate grades than they were when I first got into this hobby.
But as a non-slabber, I just want to devil's advocate here. If they're being able to pull more money because of the value of the books, does it give them precedence to grade a little bit more generously? Does it give them precedence to concern themselves with that census count, with that numerical value that we talk about that so much comes into comics and comes into play, when all of a sudden they're getting a cut of that because they were the grading service involved? Does that seem a little fishy to you? Because it seems a little fishy to me.
But they've
Just
already done
personally.
that. They've been doing the percentage of the fair market value for how many years now? For like the big boy books?
And
But
really,
that's just what I mean.
that's where most of this price increase generally affects, is the bigger tiered books.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe not everything needs to get graded. Maybe if you're going to grade it and you're going to sell it, you need to take that into consideration on how much you bought it for and what your ROI is now. If it's something for your PC, is it really that important that you encapsulate and preserve it? So honestly, I think too much stuff is getting slabbed anyways. Hopefully this will make...
I'm hoping this stops some of that.
Stuff gets slabbed, right? And that's hopefully what this will lead to.
But how does this deter modern slabbing at all then? Because that's their largest amount of slabbing is modern books. By far. Not even close. If there was no modern slabbing, I don't think CGC would even survive because you're only submitting so many vintage books, right? You need
the
new
modern
books coming to market
too.
Consistently. And that is and all these signatures are doing in-house too. Let's not even forget about that. How much they're charging now for those. Those are asinine as well. $145, $100, $160. You know, I mean, like, they're making their money. Like, to say that I took the chance on a comic, and because you put the grade on it, and I paid you for that service, that you feel that you need to feel. I don't think they do. I don't feel like they feel they need a portion of it. But let's just say that that is their feeling. That does not give you the right. I took the risk. I took the challenge. I sent it to you. If it came back green, are they going to take the financial hit and give me back some recoup? No, they're not. So it shouldn't be in turn. It's like a doctor delivering my baby who becomes a freaking famous doctor. Does that mean he deserves some of the money because he delivered my baby? You know,
but they do get to charge more the better of a doctor they are.
Well, yeah, but so that's okay. Charge more, but don't take it again on the.
But that's not the fault of the baby though either, though, right? I mean, that's like saying like, okay, the doctor gets a cut of the kid's
and again, to my point,
you know, like
again,
how much money this child makes in the future. I want a portion.
Best doctor, like if you don't want to use CGC, hey, go get a delivery or go get your book slabbed with CBCS.
PGX.
No, I am going to use CGC, but it does affect what you submit. And I don't think it helps the market. I think it can hurt the market on certain books. You're going to see less of certain things being graded because it's already like the market's dropped. Let's be realistic. All right. Our values on 9.8s for modern books have dropped to garbage in comparison to where they were last year. So if you have a book that's you can maybe sell for $20 raw if you're lucky, that's a 9.8. Okay. But 9.8 sell for $125 or $100. You have to make that decision. Do I take this $25 now, or do I put in $35 to $40 to grade it so that I get back that 60 off that 100? But then you got to think about where you're selling it on eBay. Well, you just lost 12% to 15% there. Okay, so now that same money is becomes almost close to wash. Okay, so there will be less CGC slabs in the marketplace, and is that what they want potentially? I mean, can you if you have less books going out, does that mean there's less out there in the market and there's more room for CBCS to slip in and take a market share? Or do they just think it doesn't matter, we'll all eat it and keep going? I mean, at $1 an increase only for a raw, people will probably keep eating it, and they're probably thinking vintage guys are still going to have to submit. You know, they raised it a base of $150, I think it was, or $140, plus now another percentage on top, you know? So it's like it went from 3% to 4%. I believe it's 4%. I don't think it's higher than that. And then $150 base, and they combine two tiers. So like you're kind of screwed. You have to now submit under this tier. So I don't know, man.
The quick turns, aren't those done now? The quick turns, didn't they get rid of
fast checking?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. So now it's also a question too of how quickly you're going to get them back again. Are we getting back to the days of when it took like 6 months?
So you can pull it up. Go to cgc.com. It's like right there on the homepage too.
I'll pull it up while you guys keep talking. Give me a second.
Signature series, man. It is like every day now. There's like a $150 signature series, and then I don't want a TM Farlove signature on my Spawn 1 like I saw. Like $150. It better say Todd McFarlane. Like those signatures were straight trash, man.
Yeah.
And Chad, I just did PSA. It was 2 months, which last year they had a year turnaround.
I think he's talking about how they charge a percentage. I think that's what Chad was asking.
And I'm okay with a little bit of a price increase if it's quicker turnaround times.
We already paid for quicker turnaround times.
A lot of guys, he made a good point. The turnaround times are better. They're hiring more graders. Those salaries have an impact on the bottom line. It only makes sense to recoup by upping pricing.
Well, that's what they did the first time, 2 times last year. was to hire more graders, to make things better. We just paid for that. So now we're paying for more. And I have a strong, and I don't mind, I get it. If I was a business owner, I would think about increases too. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean I can't bitch and gripe about it because it's affecting me. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if they did another increase by the end of the year. Because what would stop them? What gives them limitations? Like, honestly, like,
the market would have to.
Do you think there's a breaking point? And what is that breaking point for you? When will you just say, I'm out? You know, at what point are you guys finally just like, you know what, I'm done grading it? And I don't think we're far from that. Like, if modern books become $35 to grade, are you going to grade a modern book at that point? Unless it's like $250 easy.
I agree with you. There will be a breaking point at some point or another, for sure.
I think $50 is it.
But
I think that's the number. Because once
there you go. You and Chad are right there, baby. Yep.
Didn't they say though? I mean, didn't we have almost a breaking point like this a year ago when it did happen? Like Guru was saying just moments ago. You know, wasn't there a, oh no, this isn't going to be like that. This is, you know, in my opinion, I feel like we keep on changing the finish line for these guys.
But that's to be expected though. Like, the finish line is always going to get further and further as costs of living and costs of transportation and shipping and all that increase. They gotta raise their costs so that they're not eventually going to lose money on each and every box that they ship out.
But I mean, at the same time too, are we all getting a raise according to, you know, inflation? Are we all getting our comics automatically being bumped up because, well, you know, this was $190, but inflation has changed in the last few days. So, you know, I'm actually going to pay you $207 instead of the $190 that it really should have just been sold for. But, you know, I'm just a nice fucking guy. Nobody's doing that for us. So at the end of the day, I mean, when do we as users of this service just start to say, okay, $50 is too much, but how quickly are they going to get there? I feel like they're moving faster than inflation. There was no inflation when they were bumping before, and they were doing it for the numbers and the things of that nature. I get it. It's a business. Got to make money. You have to make money. 100%. I get it. But the excuses, I don't see inflation as one of them, because inflation going up for all of us while prices are going down means that, you know, in my mind, this service is becoming more and more out of touch.
Do you think that it's so? Rage did an unboxing, God, 3 weeks ago. It's like, I swear to God, every slab was scuffed, had issues. Do you think it's to compensate for? I see that everyone I know that gets something, it's scuffed, it's damaged, there's no quality control. And, you know, is it to compensate for having to replace slabs and constantly doing that just because they're not doing the right things at first? So now they're going to make it up on the back end in another way.
But they also have a lot of new graders and new personnel. So the mistakes, I would expect that. I don't want it, but I would expect it.
And those are cosmetic mistakes. You know, to their credit, they do take care of that. They do provide the shipping label. It sucks. It's an inconvenience. I get that there's human error involved in this, but at least they take care of it, right? It's not like they're like, oh, deal with it.
Well,
yeah.
Now
that doesn't happen. You call them, you call CGC, they pick up the phone. It's not like CBCS. You see what I'm saying? You get somebody, shit gets fixed.
True.
100.
I would prefer them using this extra money to build another facility on the West Coast.
Everybody would love that. Everybody would love
I would love for them to use that money to make sure that we can have on-site grading at conventions more so.
Ooh.
I'd rather have that be more of a something as a concept than just us always having to ship it to them. You know, and then I'll tell you the biggest gripe. Yeah. I'll tell you the biggest gripe for me with CGC is it always seems like this massive company that does nothing but take from the industry, and I don't ever feel like they're doing anything generally to give to the industry. Like, I don't ever feel like it's a company that's like out there somehow helping comics. They're making us pay for this service, and they take. And yeah, maybe we grade a book, whatever, and we sell stuff. That's not the point. The point is, It's a service we're paying for, but it seems like they're taking more from it, and they're sucking us dry as much as they can, and it doesn't ever feel they give back to this community that's supporting them as much as they do in some fashion, whatever the hell that means. But it should be more charitable in some way, where they're more of an advocate for the comic community than just somebody who's taking from it, because that's what it feels like. And I like the people at CGC, okay, but guess what? Those aren't the people who own it or run it. All right.
Yeah.
They're the ones we don't get to see, ones we don't get to meet. So, like, that's my
I agree,
biggest
Jeff.
gripe with CGC.
I agree.
No, I agree with it, dude. 100%. I feel like at the end of the day,
people like Power Glove Jeff.
In impartial service. I mean, I get that, you know, moderns are going to be in better condition than Golden Age and things of that nature. But, you know, in another 60 years or 70 years, is everybody going to be saying like, well, did they really check the insides of it? Did they just look at the outside? That was back when CGC didn't really do shit with it other than just, you know, like, oh, is there a big mark on the outside? 9.8 out the door because it's modern, you know, kinds of situations. Why aren't we looking in detail at all the books? They all get the same kind of grading process, you know, and maybe it's better condition when it comes in, which makes it a little faster. But I mean, really, how deep are we getting with all of it? Because it's a question. It's a question. Just for me, as a collector that only has a few, it's questionable practice wise, in my opinion.
Well, that recently I've learned. Well, it's not recently, but I've known this. But I guess every so often, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think it's 7 to 10 years, roughly, you should be reslabbing your books anyways, because deterioration occurs, and there's not a proper transfer of gases that occur within the chamber of the inner well. And it's recommended to reslab your books anyway. So while the slab itself does protect the book, it does not protect it from deterioration.
It's very true. And we've got another guest here joining us, Blue Lantern.
Store it if it's in sunlight, moisture, etc. You know.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. I agree. Let's bring our good friend Blue out here. He came out last time with us. How's it going, brother?
How are you?
I'm blessed, man. How's everyone doing today?
Good. How's Vegas?
It's hot. It's actually hot today.
I left just in time, I guess.
Yeah, you did, man.
It's cold as heck.
And cloudy for some reason.
Oh, dude.
Which is rare.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this question, the five of you. What do you guys think? Do you think an alternative to this would be to go back to raw sales? Do you think that's even possible at this point?
PGX.
No.
Oh,
give them a chance. So. Make them great again, man.
Make PGX great again.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
There's a hat we need to start wearing at cons. Make PGX
Jeff and Mikey,
great again.
I know you guys do kind of the same thing, right? That myself and other sellers out here do, right? When we get a collection, there's certain books that we know that we are going to go slab, right? Do you think that business and that aspect of picking up collections, can that continue without that, though, is my question. Do you think there will be the same types of returns for you to be able to keep doing what you're doing?
As in a raw business space? Is that what you're saying? Versus live business space?
If it's just raw.
Yeah, I think you can do raw. I think it's a tough pill for people to swallow, and I'll tell you why. Because most people who buy raw books, okay, and you'll show them the grade they want. Here's your 7.5 that you wanted. Here's the price. Oh, I want it raw. Well, most of the time they want it raw because they feel that they'll get it for a better price, because usually their assumption is, oh, if it's raw, it's 20%, 30% less, at least. Okay, or they're gonna bump it up with the grade somehow, and or that they think the guy might have misgraded. Now, don't get me wrong; it's easier to store raw books. It's fun to flip through them, but a lot of people like to get the little discount because it's raw. I know people who won't discount it raw because it's just they're the shop, they have a great business, they know how to grade, and that's just that they stay tried and true. Nope, this is a 7.5. This is how much it is, raw or graded. That's going to be a hard line for a lot of people to hold. So it's going to either be you having to buy collections for less now. You pay less money for them so that you can make sure that you're covered. Or you stay tried and or you just stay that line and be like, nope, I'm going to take the chance that this is not going to sell and it's going to sit with me until I find the right person who wants it in a 7.5 and pay the graded price. And that's usually the difference between the two people. They want it raw because they want you to get a come up, usually, or a big discount.
No, I can agree
And
with that.
apparently family life needs me, so I got to bounce out. Love you guys.
Oh,
All right, guys.
Later, brother.
Well,
good seeing you, brother.
All right.
Much love.
You
Much
too.
love.
to piggyback on what
No,
Jeff said,
he brings up a really good point. He
Yeah.
does. You know,
I mean,
when
like
we look
if you go to shows, you have guys who, like he said, it's like, you know, they want, like, if it's a 7.5 raw, they want like it to be priced like a 6.0 or a 5.0. You know, they want this tremendous drop. And, you know, also a lot of guys don't know how to grade. Like I've gone to shows and they're like, this is a VF minus. I'm like, on what earth is this a VF minus? Because if so, I have a bunch of VF minuses that are waiting. You know, so that's my biggest issue is like, bring back that little card. Remember when we used to carry the card? I'm like, okay, the pages are 10. Okay, all right, this is what it is. And, you know, that's what we need to go back to.
Oh gosh,
And
so
see,
much work.
That's a great point too. Look, you take the chance on color.
Yeah, I get big collections in all the time.
Other,
That is like
other
my
things that go
most
wrong.
favorite,
wrong.
least favorite part of the job is looking through and
especially
going,
with bigger books.
okay,
And you guys
right,
know
everything's
this.
there, doing all that stuff, and then you're like, this is a $5 book.
You guys know
Like,
this.
here you go,
Bigger
right over
books,
here.
nobody's going to want to take that chance.
I
No,
don't know.
not with your bigger books. No, this is, you know, and maybe at the same time too, CGC maybe just needs to also say, look, if this isn't going to be worth more than $200 graded, then we're not grading it.
So
You know,
That's
minimum.
smart.
I that set a floor, and I know that sucks for the speculators. I get it. Maybe you just need to store things really well.
And
Maybe
wait,
you need to get some top loaders. Maybe you should go out and get, you know, some comic clear and put your in that for the time being until it hits a certain value point. Because to me, in my mind, you know, when you're submitting a book, you should be able to put in there like, this is the book. This is what you know, this is what we're going to submit it as, whatever it may be. And I think CGC should be able to say like, look, that book's not even on a $200 index. No. No.
Well, so I know a guy who submits the CBCS once a month. He submits 1,000 books.
keeping them in business.
So like minimum 1,000 books, and it's a lot of modern books. You know, you get some older ones in there, but it's a lot of modern, man. So I don't think CBCS would ever tell him no.
Well, but that's just it. Maybe CBCS is like more of that. Then somebody else would take that portion of the market. I don't know. I just feel like CGC is the one driving the market and how much everybody has to pay for it. Because now that CGC's done it, CBCS is going to be saying like, well, guys, as long as we're under, let's do a price increase. Because that's what's going to come. I'll put money on it.
Okay, we're going to be right here.
The next 2 weeks.
They will have to do that to make it seem as, because they should be the same as CGC.
Yeah.
And they keep on pricing themselves under them. People are going to think that, this is the sorrier of the grading companies, and they're not worth sending anything to them. But I love the point that you made, Phil, that people still hold. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I lost track. Squirrel.
You're good, Ruben. You're good, buddy. You're good.
People need to stop speculating and just hold on to their comic books to when they actually there's a whole point to actually sending them in.
Yes. Yeah.
I love the fact when some people send them in because they love the cover. That's like something like this. I will send it in just because of the cover, not because of the price. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's awesome to have one of your favorite comic books in a slab because it's your favorite, and looks awesome. It's gonna stay like that forever. You know, keeping it not in the See,
get it
that like that.
Get a gator guard, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with the chat because I have a box of slabs over there that have no value in reality to anyone other than me. I have Archie versus Sharknado. I have Charles Barkley versus Godzilla. I have four Turok ones, the gold foil and the other ones. So I am the worst person for this question because I have stuff over there that doesn't deserve to be slapped, but I love them. I look at them like, this is my baby. I love you so much. Charles Barkley versus Godzilla. My life is complete. So,
I remember when that book came out. I remember they talked about that on TV. I remember that. There was like a commercial for it.
Yeah, it's like it's never enough Turocks. I have 4 of them slabbed. I got 9/8. I got them all. I'm hunting on the first one, but that's just me. I don't know. I'm terrible for this question.
I'm a raw guy.
I want to bring up is the modern age of books for CGC is continuously getting bigger and bigger each year.
True.
And the price is going to be the same for what? 80 75, right? 1975 is what they consider modern?
Yeah.
To 2023, that's a lot of books.
Yeah.
A lot of books. They're going to I see them splitting it in the middle or at some point, because there's a definitive time when the books still went from that pulpy paper in the 80s and the 90s to that waxy paper in the mid to late not like 90s ish.
I'll be right back.
So like,
all right, we'll put you off to the side, Lane. Blue, don't worry about it, buddy.
I mean, but I agree. Like, dude, that range is huge. Like, there's, but also if you look at regular grading, because you got, bronze, copper, and then you have modern, which I think starts in like 88, according to or I might be wrong on that one. I know it's in that range, but you're right. It needs to be like the variant age or something like that. The post-COVID age. There you go. Like, we'll just, grade it like that.
Chad also brings up that, buy a $30 exclusive, pay $34 for it graded. But I know a lot of companies also too that sell exclusives, sell those 9.8s pre-graded for, $200, $180, $99, whatever it may be. And they do okay. They do sell a few of those too. A few people bite every single time. So I don't know. It's a question, man. It's a question. It's a question.
I think it's different, right? If you're just doing it as a collector, and like Doc said, you want to slap something that you really like. Okay, that's different, right? But you're not going to do it with everything that you have.
No.
Now, if you're a seller, that's where you have to take into consideration. Okay, how much did I pay for all these books? How much is this book worth in X amount of grade? You know how to grade. You put yourself in a range, you look at sales data, and you hope that you hit one of those grades that you're thinking of getting so that you get that back, right? So I just think this is going to make people be a little bit smarter about what they submit.
I hope.
On just the big books, though, because, I mean, on the bottom tier, it really hasn't changed much. But, like, I'm submitting this week just to get ahead of everything. We're submitting, like, a Fantastic Four 6, a couple Strange Tales, first, appearances, like 126, 118,
Right.
So
small books. Small books.
Yeah. So nothing crazy. But, it's just like we're trying to get ahead of that curve, because I don't want to. I mean, I get it, but as a business, we have to like take that into consideration, because it's like shit. Like, like Jeff says, like, do I just go the raw pricing? But it depends. Sometimes it's easier to sell slabs too, because now it's not my opinion, because there's so many people out there who suck at grading. I sold jewelry for years, and a diamond that has a little piece of paper that's the grading report is so much easier to sell than one that's doesn't have one. Even though it could be a better diamond, it doesn't sell as well, just because it doesn't have this little piece of paper from an independent third party company saying that that's what it is.
You're talking about GIA.
Yeah. GIA, EGS. It's the same thing with IGS, too. You get a bunch of them. So
quick question before we go to a different topic, because I think Phil's getting it ready. As a shop owner, do you feel like people come in and kind of haggle you on the pricing more on raws or slabs?
It depends. For me, it just, if a person is savvy with, like, they've been to cons, they've been, elbow deep in short boxes at cons, they're the only ones who really, really, or if it's someone who's, the cash guy. Come on, man, I got $50 cash. Come on, let's just get the deal done. Like that's the other, side. But really, for the most part, I only see big negotiating, knock on wood, is on raws. On Slabs, it's almost like we price, weekly. We were always adjusting prices. We're always, maybe sometimes daily. It depends on what it is, especially if it's a market change. But because we keep everything close with GPA and eBays, and we're keeping a track of everything. Slabs, we really don't get much negotiating. It's mostly raws. Raws, it's like, because everyone's like, well, you say it's a 7.5, but it could be a 7.0. So could you do 10% off just in case? And you kind of just go, hey man, what's 10%? If it's
that's what I figured. Is basically
Yeah.
slabbing. It's not going to go anywhere because
No.
grading is subjective, and that leaves out the subjection. So yeah, okay.
So I'd like to tee up this next conversation point, gentlemen, because this is a big week for those of us that are movie fans, that are Marvel fans, and I do consider myself both. I've been a little disenfranchised lately, a little let down, but this is something that, in my opinion, there's been a lot of weight around, and this is the send off to some very big characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So this is going to be all about some loss and some of the major things that are coming in. This is when you look at this, is a little clickbait. Critics share strong reactions, and those strong reactions that this is the darkest Marvel movie ever. This is touches of horror and
All right.
and
Unless they snap half the universe, okay. Hey, I don't know how you top Infinity.
Didn't they say
I don't know.
Strange too? Like it was the darkest.
Well, we also saw though too, like we saw Star-Lord freaking out with blood dripping off of different wires and things like that. We know the touches of terror. I went with a preconceived idea, and James Gunn has managed to surprise me for good. It's darker, with even touches of terror, but it's still funny with a lot of personality. Rocket and Nebula excel in a very dignified send-off. So I felt like that was a bit of a spoiler. Maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of people, spectacular action set pieces, fun, entertaining, emotional, perfect and beautiful closure for the characters and the saga. Best Marvel movie since Endgame, and top 3 in general.
That sounds hard.
Yeah, and that means it was better than Spider-Man.
Okay, calm down.
Everybody chill the fuck out. And will James Gunn stick the landing? That's the question. But from the reports that have come in, and there's not been many, and before we get into too much, please everybody welcome Mac, Kessel Run Comics, for joining. No stranger to Comics and Chaos, our specialist for Star Wars. But thank you for joining, Mac. We really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, buddy.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for this. The only the few people that have gotten to see it so far are critics, and we know there's been a disconnect. We know there's been a disconnect between fans and critics recently. Critics love a lot of things, fans have not, and fans have loved a lot of things critics did not either. So the question comes, in my mind, where do you guys hope that this movie is falling? And what do you think of this news? What do you feel like some of this response is good? What do you feel like, Theo? Tell me your thoughts.
I mean, I respect it. It's the simple fact that I'm pretty, like 110% confident that one of the main members of the Guardians of the Galaxy is probably going to die, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a given. I'm pretty sure Drax already said no James Gunn, no Dave Bautista, so he's gone. I don't know how it can be better than the other two.
But James Gunn even said, though, this might not be his last Marvel movie.
Oh, I'm sure he wants to have that on the back burner, but I'm sure ever since he went over to DC, Marvel's probably like, well, this is your last Marvel movie.
Oh, yeah, for like now. But
I'm pretty sure it is his last
Marvel
Marvel movie.
DC fires everybody eventually. DC's not exactly known for top-down fantastic management skills right here, guys.
I'm just saying,
so
he's got a pretty big role over there. He ain't going anywhere anytime soon at DC. He's like the Kevin Feige now of DC.
Yeah.
Right.
He ain't going anywhere.
Well, as long as his movies do well. He'll go somewhere if they don't.
Marvel.
I mean, I guess I'm assuming that he's smart and he signed a pretty long-term contract with them. But I may be wrong.
I'm guessing they
Exactly.
didn't. I'm guessing they signed him for like, hey, you prove it. You get this longer term, you'll get re-upped. My guess is he's getting to
Legion. I love what he said. Bigger question: what's your feelings if they don't deliver on expectation? And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me because it would be nothing new. That's the thing.
Lately.
It would be nothing new. I wouldn't be shocked. I would actually be more shocked if it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I'll leave the theater waiting for Ahsoka. Like it's
yeah.
Yeah, we're also maybe they'll put in an Ahsoka preview for us. That would say, could you imagine if a Star Wars character made a cameo appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy? I would shit my pants.
I don't know what I would do.
The one franchise, honestly, that has been even when we had the good times with the Avengers and Cap, right? Those were dope, but the Guardians of the Galaxy were always that one franchise you can count on to like laugh, kind of get a nice little heartwarming feeling. You were like, consistent. Oh, we're in space. This is fucking cool. It's got that vintage feel. Like it was the one franchise you were like, this can do no wrong. Right?
Now, do you think that Gunn put extra work into this one? Almost like a double gun to like, hey, I'm out. Peace. Try to top this.
Probably.
And that's what I would do. I mean, if I knew that the exit's right there, I'm going out with everything. I'm leaving everything on the floor. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, he could have done this better. Like, no, I'm gonna give you a masterpiece, show you what you're missing out. You should have never fired me the first time. I'm going over here, and DC's gonna own you for the next 10 years. That's what I would do.
And that's a good point. Marketing might make the audience numb.
I think though too. I think in my opinion, and this is something I've bitched about on numerous occasions. So Theo's could be like, God, not this again. I think that Guardians of the Galaxy was successful because it was disconnected from the majority of the craziness that is the MCU.
For sure.
And all of these extra appearances and extra characters and all this crap. They are consistent ensemble cast that has been very much in their own little universe. And I believe that's why I personally believe that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be a success, because the only thing that's different is the addition of really Adam Warlock and the main protagonist in this case. So that's just two things that are slightly different. We don't have to worry about hearing a billion years about all the other different problems. As Captain Marvel's not going to come flying across the screen hoping for a savior moment. We don't have to wait for all these other, why don't they see the celestial sticking up out of the water? And are we going to get the new president in this? We don't got to worry about that crap with Guardians of the Galaxy. It's its own small little universe. And I feel like that's what makes this easy to me. This is going to be the biggest problem if Marvel can't nail this. If Marvel can't nail this, then Marvel needs to blow up and start all over, because there's no way in hell they're going to nail anything else going forward if they can't take another small story and give it a good ending. That's my piece.
Point.
Ooh, I disagree, because look,
I take
Disney is doing with Star Wars that they had to blow up Star Wars, right? Like Book of Boba Fett was pretty garbage.
Oh yeah,
and then
until the last 3 episodes.
Nah, dude, that's
no. He's right. Until the last episode. Okay?
Yeah, like.
Dude, those first couple episodes with the Tuscan backstory and stuff was pretty sick.
That was good.
Okay. The first episode and the last episode. Sure. Everything in between was like, when the fuck did we get ice cream?
Dude, he spent more time on the Bacta tank than anything. Like, it was the bath of Boba Fett. I was so bored with it.
but look what, like, getting back to the point, like, Boba Fett was bad, and then whatever else, the Resistance.
Obi-Wan.
But they reset after Kenobi with Andor and this latest season of Mandalorian. There's hype. There's really, like, Dave Filoni taking over the series is really, really, really doing well for Star Wars now. And they just need to find that one person for the MCU. DCU needs it too, but that being said, having a Dave Filoni for Marvel is the only thing that's gonna save the MCU.
And Feige needs to take back the reins. Feige's been loose. Feige's been letting directors do what they want. He's been letting actors dictate their futures. You know, realize too, these aren't always necessarily comic book fans. These are good directors. These are good actors and actresses. And despite, you know, the fact that we may feel differently about, you know, what is canon and what is not, they have their own artistic interpretations they've been able to get away with these last couple of years more easily because unfortunately the MCU went batshit crazy and needed to have everybody have a show with 12 different cameos and all these. That to me is why Guardians of the Galaxy is going to do well, in my opinion, because it's not a part of that bigger MCU web that we've got on Earth. And that's what, and James Gunn even said that too. He said the best thing that the worst thing that Marvel did was the blip. The blip is what's made everything hard for Marvel going forward. It's that 5-year gap of now there's new people and old people and gone people and maybe coming back people. That whole thing just should have blown up and started over. And Gunn has that opportunity with the Guardians. And I think that that's the reason why the Guardians will be okay. That's my opinion. It's because it's not a part of the trash that we're getting on Earth right now of all the mixed bags of maybes and hope fors that we've not been getting fulfilled on.
There's a chance when they bring in the X-Men, whenever that's going to be, to do that reset. But they have to have the right director. They have to have the right producer and screenwriters too.
I don't even think we need to wait. I just think we just need to
bring
say
back the Russo brothers.
Time out. Well, the Russo brothers are the whole reason we're in this boat. They're Blip. They're Time Jump. They're Professor Hulks.
But if
everybody's all mad about Hulk getting nerfed,
fix it though.
They did it.
It would be them.
Well, I mean, I don't know anymore, Theo. I mean, I really don't, because all the problems that we're still trying to clean up were shit from Endgame. It's all stuff from Endgame. The Blip issue, the fact Hulk's got nothing
look,
left.
Here, exactly, though. Look,
I don't know.
But here's the thing: nobody asked for a Miss Marvel show.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Black Widow
nobody
sucked.
asked for a lot of these
Eternal
B-tier
sucked.
characters to come in.
But Black Widow also sucked because we knew where she was going to go. We knew she was dead. The Black Widow movie should have came out 4 years before that.
You know, like, nobody asked
Hawkeye.
For
The Russo brothers' fault. That movie sucked.
I'm saying it's the Russo's brothers' fault that we're in the writing issue that we're in now. That's what I'm saying.
They wrote
because
themselves
of
into
what we did in Endgame that was not canon to comics. That was not. That was all artistic interpretation.
If they didn't do that, Marvel wouldn't be what it is. And even though right now it's a shit show, when they did that in the day, that was the highest grossing movie of all time. It also brought about many, many people into comics, movies.
And it should have ended and restarted.
I mean, it basically revitalized the freaking hobby.
So Phil wanted Thanos to snap and that be it. And then we get a whole new universe after.
I stand by the stupid things I say.
We're going to get that in Secret Wars. Rumor has it Secret Wars is going to be where they do like the reset. And that's when you get like Fantastic Four, X-Men.
Yeah, because the Secret Wars is like the crisis of the DC universe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Colossus
before
has
the
a good
crisis.
point, but it's like I think that the problem is not the 3-4 years of directionless. It is that, but it's also when those first movies were coming out, we were like, you know, it was like we were leading towards something, but everything was like introducing the big bad. The last 2 years, it should have been Kang, the little bits of Kang here and there. And then if Kang's really your Thanos for this next phase, it should have been leading up to him. It's kind of like people are like, who the hell is Kang? I heard that in the movie theater for a private screening we had filled with people who read comic books. They're like, who the hell's Kang? Like, I don't even know what show did I miss? And then people are like, oh, he was in Loki. I didn't watch Loki. So, you know, that's another problem.
It's too big and too convoluted. It should have ended with Endgame and rebooted. I stand by it.
I'm not totally against that idea, Phil.
No,
I
I
honestly
agree
never
with
really
that.
thought
After
about
Endgame,
that.
there should have been a reset.
It would have been a fantastic ending. The heroes won. We lost some. It was sad, but it was strong. And in my opinion, then we just should have just started over. And then we would have had the X-Men easy. We would have had all these other awesome characters. And you know what? Some of these great people could even reprise their roles. I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, it should have, this connected universe stuff got out of control after Endgame, and that to me is okay. It's not the Russo's fault for writing a fantastic movie, but unfortunately, the things that they did put in that movie were things that no studio could just basically write themselves out of.
Bring back Terrence Howard.
Yeah, so we were actually going to talk about Jonathan Majors. Yeah, that's the last topic for the night.
The last topic for the night. But Mac, you haven't gotten to really reflect on anything or do anything more than say hello. Do you have any thoughts, brother?
I've never really thought about the whole restarting of the MCU, because obviously there's going to be so many phases and shit, probably at least 2 more phases after the one we're currently in. So who knows where the hell this is going to go? We, as consumers, have no real clue of the future blueprint for where things are going to spin out. As some of these guys already said, we're going to bring in Fantastic Four and the X-Men, and I'm sure a few other groups. There's going to be the events like Secret Wars and probably a few others. But yeah, I always stay hopeful. I try and stay optimistic about where things are going to go from a writing standpoint and from putting all those pieces back together. I like what you had to say about Feige needing to be reined back in, and because I felt like when Feige was really heavily overseeing everything, pieces were a little more, cohesive. And so, yeah, I think once that kind of happens again, and he's, very, very active, and like you were saying, directors have a little less creative control, actors and actresses have a little less creative control, then we can kind of steer this MCU in a more proper and productive direction, I think. But yeah, I agree with you guys for the most part. The last few movies, last few shows haven't really hit nearly as heavy. I think maybe I talked with you guys about this, that a lot of stuff in phase 2, or maybe it wasn't phase 2, but it's like, I remember some of the best movies, in my opinion, being like Winter Soldier. Like Winter Soldier was so fucking good. The original Guardians, I think, is still the best Guardians, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
the
some
second one
people
was
like Guardians too, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's and I agree with the chat. The chat was saying earlier that nothing will top like the Spider-Man movie. The Spider-Man with triple Spideys is just unreal too. But before we get on to that next subject of the Jonathan Majors thing, and this kind of ties in when I came into watching you guys with the you guys talking about the whole slab debate, slab versus raw. Honestly, I'm more pro going back to completely raw. Don't get me wrong, I collect slabs. I send books off to get slabs sometimes. Yeah, most of them are modern. I dabble in a little bronze, but I like the subjectiveness that comes with the raw. I like how, all of us in this chat could look at the same raw book, and, one of us or 2 of us might say 9.4, one of us might say 9.8, one of us might even say some wild shit like 8.5. But, when you have that level of subjectivity, I guess, to it, you can you have that range of where the price of that book can be. And I feel like there's a whole lot more negotiating and kind of, I don't know.
A little bit more conversation. I can appreciate that.
It adds a level to the hobby that I feel like is missed when it's so streamlined of like, this grade is this price and that's it. And there's no conversation about it. It's either you're going to cough up the money for it or you're going to walk. And so,
it has potential.
Yeah. I like the whole raw overgraded. But my last thing before we turn over is, so for those of you who follow me, I posted on my story today because I spent the weekend at Comic-Con helping out my mentor, who's one of the old goats in this hobby of being a vendor and setting up on the con circuit. I had a CGC 9.0 Marvel Premiere #1, first Adam Warlock as Adam Warlock. And I was trying to trade it because I was like, ultimately, I don't really give too many shits about this character. I'm excited for Guardians 3, yeah. But I'm a Star Wars guy, as you guys all know. And so I want Star Wars books in my collection.
Let's see that 9.8.
Yeah, I was about to say. So I ended up trading for this. Let's see. Get this. Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
check it
okay,
out.
okay.
Number
Man.
5?
Number 6.
Number 6. Oh,
Man.
dude.
Nice pickup, bro.
It's sexy.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, that is
sure.
gorgeous. Speaking of slabbed books, look at
So
that.
there you
Look
go,
at that.
holding it in that slab.
Do you think
Like that,
ultimately
it's-
it was better that I could trade that? I could trade that 9.0. I did have to throw $50 on top of this trade too, so it wasn't just strictly book for book. But trading that book and $50 for this book, do you think I won or lost?
One.
As a Star Wars fan,
but it's a good trade.
as a Star Wars fan, I would take that trade, and I
Oh,
just
yeah.
say that also as well because I'm going to like that more in my collection.
As long
than
as,
Adam
as long
Warlock.
as you're happy, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so happy, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
regret it.
I
a
don't
bit.
care about Adam Warlock either.
Rival House makes a great point, though. There's honestly so many problems in the MCU right now. But one of the biggest is that it's very unclear whose story this saga is about. No through line of Captain America.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's a fantastic point. Because honestly,
And
I don't know who this story's about.
It's too big. It's too big. There's too many characters. We got greedy. We got greedy. And I do see that happening potentially with Star Wars, with what we're getting with this Filoniverse concept. But hopefully they're going to take a few lessons and they'll keep it a little bit stronger. Hopefully Favreau will take a few points and pieces and keep that in Filoni's ear. But I mean, you know, this was supposed to be Favreau and Filoni's movie project, and it is just now Filoni's. So I'm not sure entirely as to where everything's going with Star Wars, but I do know a connected universe, this Mandoverse, is happening, and it's moving forward, and I'm excited for it. Just like I was for Marvel at the beginning when we were getting this Avengers kind of concept, and it was going there. So I am pumped for it, but I hope they take some lessons, and I hope they still are able to keep ancillary stories because those matter too. Getting the one-offs that we can all enjoy and we can take family to, and we don't have to explain 30 years of lore and film for them to see one movie. You know, like how long do we have to sit through MCU right now for us to go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Luckily, not much, because not a whole lot's affecting it.
But I mean, to your point though, is for the Ahsoka show, you have to watch all of Rebels, really, to to know who most of these characters
to appreciate it fully. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. I know Filoni's tried to say the last season, but yeah.
Shout out to
on season 2.
Cora. How are you, sir? Good friend from IG. But yeah, I agree with you. Daredevil, Punisher, badass. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous for the Daredevil Born Again.
I am.
We're gonna talk about Jonathan Majors in a second, but I'm gonna touch on that right now because I don't know if you guys remember. How were we introduced to Daredevil in the MCU? No, I'm not talking about Matt Murdock in Spider-Man No Way. How were we introduced to Daredevil? Tell me. Can anybody guess? Can anybody
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. How did we see him? Let me take a guess. Oh, he took a walk up.
Step out.
Walk of shame.
Okay.
Well, wait.
Through that.
He was in Spider-Man first.
Well, he was in Spider-Man first.
No. Matt Murdock was in Spider-Man.
Oh, right.
Daredevil was in She-Hulk. Okay. And what happened? Oh, he banged her and took a walk of shame. Great. That's fantastic
You would
introduction.
have taken that walk of shame too.
But fantastic. And let me guess.
I'm not
We're gonna get
complaining.
Punisher? Oh, we're gonna get Punisher. What version of Punisher are we gonna get? Is this guy gonna be shooting Nerf guns? Huh? They couldn't even show Kingpin getting. Dude, they don't show any type of murdering happen in the MCU.
It's Disney.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not too excited about that. That's all I gotta say.
I'm definitely worried about what we're going to potentially get with it, but
Maybe
I
he
do want to
uses
get
like what Blade did, where they just turn into dust and stuff like that.
Yeah, who knows?
They dusted half the universe.
That's nice.
Yeah. You know.
But
Hey man, you gotta take the
let's-
wins when you get them. All right.
let's talk about the real controversy right
Walk
now.
of shame without
Let's-
beats. There you go. Now
let's talk about
majors.
let's talk about the real
What are you thinking about
controversy though. The real controversy right now is Jonathan Majors. And there was a conversation earlier about, you know, if Ezra can still be here, Majors can still be here.
Oh, the silence. It's beautiful.
And you know, I disagree with that though too. And I do in the
You
fact
already
that
know they suck. Okay.
I hate Ezra, and we know DC
These
is
comments are
tanking
amazing.
anyways and rebooting.
Chat's
But
been on fire tonight.
Yeah.
I just feel like Ezra's not the best point to use, because
That
Ezra we know
cat
is going
wants
away. They just
out,
can't.
bro.
They just need the money. They just need the money.
Or they can
They
just
just need
throw
the
it away
money.
like they did Batgirl. They've
Yeah.
already put
Yeah.
too much money into this one, and like compared to Batgirl.
Warner Brothers can't
think
lose
so.
money on
Just
this one,
can it
so
all.
they need to keep it all
start
above
over.
water.
Like, all right, we're done.
They had
Like
like a
just crisis.
5. They had like a
It's like
5
just crisis.
this guy, right?
For who? For
For
Gun?
majors. For majors.
oh, Majors, yeah.
I think
Like
there's
after
two.
Quantum Mania, it's like another 5 years worth of King.
I think that if they're gonna recast him, you go with John Boyega, and you have
Whoa.
you right the
That'd be
wrong
sick.
that Star Wars did with him and Finn. And
He's coming back. They're already talking about he's coming back for the new Rey movie.
Yeah.
As a
who
Jedi.
wants that? No one asked for that.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
another
He needs to
fucking
come
crap
back.
No one wants.
Okay,
Well,
so
they need
Talk about
to
righting
fix what they
wrongs,
did to
bring
him, but
back
I don't
Terrence
think he
Howard.
wants to come back. I don't think he wants to come back either.
He wanted more money
because
than Robert Downey
Boyega's
Jr.
pretty
Yeah.
vocal about it.
Get out of here. You got too greedy.
Dare I say they don't even do Kang now?
damn.
What
That'd
if
be
you
kinda
what
crazy.
if you just roll out all the other projects you were gonna do? Get rid of your post-credit scenes that were gonna involve him, and fuck it, let's just go to Secret Wars, and we'll let Celestials and everything else cosmic have a
Just
major-
let Doctor Doom come in
Fuck
here
Kang.
and reset
Yeah,
everything.
Let Doctor Doom be the one that's
Bring
behind-
in Doom.
It was Doom all along. Fuck it, let's go
In
there.
Doom we trust. In
Agatha
Doom
all
we
along.
trust.
Yeah,
That's
what if we
my
just
mantra
Cancel
for the
Kang.
MCU.
I know it's way too
MCU going
soon.
forward, it's all Doom.
I know it is way, way too soon. But just give me some Null. Just go ahead and bring Null in, man. I'm
Way
ready for
too
Null.
soon.
I am too ready
You're-
for
you're-
Null.
Way
You
too
are really
soon.
excited
Sony.
about some
You can't even
Fantastic
bring it
Four
in.
Went
stuff if you're
20
going with
years
Null.
from now.
If you're
I mean,
venomizing
they showed his
everything right now,
sword,
I can't.
So I mean, he's kind of
Right.
He's Sony. He's
So-
Sony. We need a
And
buyout
he's
before we
that,
get to
and that's
Null.
the one thing everyone keeps forgetting. If they do a Null, right? If they do a Miles live action, Sony's going to go ahead and do that first. They're going to milk that.
Well,
cow till it's
Sony's
dry.
going to get at least half of it, so they're not going to do that.
Oh, they're
anytime
going to do
soon.
all of it. They're just like they're doing with Venom. Just like they did with Spider-Man before we were even allowed to touch him.
Yeah.
Okay, they are going to milk that cow till it's dry and say, "Here, take what's left over and make something out of it." As a company, would you share one of your most priceless assets?
They already did it with
If I knew
Spider-Man.
I
They
was
don't
gonna
need to
get
do it with
half of
anybody
the
else.
How long did it take for them to do that, though? They went through 2 different Spider-Mans.
That's
Yeah.
true.
15 years.
Really,
Here, now you can have
It was one Spider-Man because
No.
Toby was. Yeah.
Andrew Garfield,
Yeah.
okay, and Tobey Maguire.
But Toby was
Toby
like the
was,
first Marvel
like 2 years
anything besides
before the
Blade.
MCU was a thing.
That was still Sony. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, they are going to do Miles first. They are going to do Null first. They are going to do everything first. Then Marvel will get it.
Actually,
This is
I got a
such
better
a-
solution for Marvel. Midnight Suns. Just take it all back to Werewolf by Night, to Blade. Take that
I don't know.
supernatural look.
I feel like
Go that route.
I feel like
Take
it's just
take that route
crazy. I
and
don't
screw
know.
all this other crap. Forget Kang, forget Secret Wars even right now. I don't even need that. I don't even give a shit about Secret Invasion. Just go and you give me some Midnight Suns action and let's get a little dark supernaturally kind of thing. I would be okay letting that be some kind of weird hellscape that resets everything. Go with that, and then let's reboot after that, because I would much rather. I would. That's the one thing that we're introducing any characters on that right now that I would want to get to have some fun with. It's our MonsterVerse kind of concept and that darker
Yeah.
side. That's the only thing. I don't give a crap about freaking Daredevil. Daredevil was done right with Netflix. I don't need another version of him. I want to see some Werewolf by Night. I want to see some Elsa Bloodstone. I want to see some freaking Blade. I want to see Marshala Ali as Blade, man. Oh, give me that all day long. Everything else, I'm done.
Give me
I'm done
more
with Marvel.
Man Thing.
If they go
Right?
too deep into that, though, they'll probably bring back the Darkhold, and with
Yeah.
Darkhold, they'll want the Scarlet Witch back in there
I just, you know
as
what?
the main bad guy again, which was horrible.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Didn't she
I
say that she
don't
was
think
taking
that
a
we would
break?
bring her back
Didn't,
for that again. because
Folsom said that
she
was,
repented
like,
from
wanting a
that at
break
the end of
from
the
doing
movie,
Scarlet
and
Witch stuff.
yeah, I don't think it's Scarlet Witch. I do feel like, in my opinion, right now it's
But
Jonathan
that would be great.
Majors. It's going to stay Jonathan Majors. It's Jonathan Majors or bust. I would love to see somebody else do it, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Marvel made the mistake of jumping the gun with James Gunn, right? And things cleared up, and they brought back James Gunn. Where we're at right now with Jonathan Majors, there's things coming out, and we'll see. We'll see. We've given a lot of other people benefit of the doubt, and one of those people being Ezra Miller too. I don't think we can just throw Jonathan to the side until he's had his fair shake. Because we've been seeing a lot of that in film and in movies lately with a lot of blowback. And I don't know if I honestly don't know if Marvel can handle letting go of Jonathan Majors and them being wrong. Because we've huh?
Do they just delay everything and hope that it pans out?
I think they let the chips fall where they lie right now. I think they need to let things kind of finish their ride and kind of see where things go. In my opinion, there's too much running on it right now for them to say, well, maybe, well, we'll see. It's the MCU's in tatters, and maybe it would be a good reason for them to kind of pull back a little bit and focus their efforts on a different side of it, or maybe make some more ancillary movies that don't have to matter as much, that we can just enjoy for what they were, like the special presentations, like that Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night was the best thing to happen in Marvel in this
incredible,
last
dude.
It was.
Oh my god, that was incredible.
Right?
I wanted it to be a bit longer, but it was awesome.
Watch it.
So great.
Yeah, Disney
So
lost
you
Johnny
didn't
Depp
watch
in
it?
this fashion.
Not yet. It's
Dude.
Yeah, still have to
You
watch
should.
it.
It's freaking awesome.
Disney Legion of Papers, right? Disney lost Johnny Depp in the same way. It's just kind of like that. My whole thing froze. Appreciate so. Looks like Mikey's out. Everybody, good night, Mikey. Thank you for joining us, brother. I appreciate it. Circumstance, yeah, you should probably finally watch Werewolf by Night, brother. It's freaking amazing. It's 100% great. Lord, bring the Russos back. Okay. I guess they didn't do the wrong thing, but unfortunately we're still paying the price for Disney maybe being a little bit too greedy afterwards and trying to keep it going when it didn't necessarily need to. But as far as Jonathan Majors go, I think Jonathan Majors needs to stick around for long enough for us to get a little bit more of a verdict out of this, because in my opinion, it's especially the way we treat different actors and actresses in these realms is integral. And I do feel like Jonathan Majors deserves the moment to have a fair shake. Now, there are more people coming out against him. There are more voices being heard, and we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be
Browns
interesting.
fan, this feels like a Deshaun Watson type thing. So
right, I see that.
I can see that. I don't know, Theo. What do you think?
With regards to Majors?
Yeah. I feel like recasting him right now would be wrong until we've had some time to investigate this.
Well, I mean, the last thing you want is to crucify the man before he's guilty, right? Innocent until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
You don't want another Johnny Depp incident, where it turns out he was the
victim,
right? Because according to him, that's what happened. And because we just saw that play out on national frickin' TV, I mean, honestly, that was kind of a groundbreaking case if you think about it, because very rarely, when a guy claims that he's the domestic person getting abused, very rarely are they believed, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or it's like, no, you're not. Be a man, man up. That's not what's going on here. And that Johnny Depp case actually was, in my opinion, pretty historic, because of what it did was show people actually, no, men can get abused.
Yeah,
right?
Can be the victim.
So I don't want to negatively crucify the guy, but they're on a timeline right now. They need to figure this out quick.
They do, but
They
I
do.
think at the same
Yeah.
time as well, we do treat black men differently in culture at times, especially too in the past. And I do think that because of not just these circumstances that you just spoke of, Theo, with us talking about, men can be victimized in these situations. It totally can happen. Doesn't mean we shouldn't disbelieve anybody, but it means we should give the moment to properly investigate before we just act. And I think giving Jonathan that chance is, the least we can do as anybody else. I mean, for God's sakes, if Ezra is still in here playing roles and DC's not announcing anything just because they need to make money on it, shame on them. Shame on them.
And I think that
Because-
is a money play because that guy was actually charged with those. It's not like
Yeah.
he was acquitted. He
guy
actually
was
was
guilty
charged
as-
with kidnapping.
And child grooming, guys.
And after they vaulted the Batgirl movie, right? They lost
Yeah.
how many millions of dollars on that? I don't know. They lost a bunch
They-
of money on that. Now they're like, dude, we can't do that. Yeah.
200 million. 200
Yeah.
million.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure they do. And in all honesty, too, it could obviously just be a variant. I saw Comic Books Explained had a really cool idea, was where one variant of Kang comes in and kills everybody and is being basically puppeteered by Doom, and then Doom arrives, right? And honestly, we could probably be all pretty okay with that. There's been rumors of a couple of different people being cast in the role. I can't remember Daniel
Doom?
from Get Out and from Nope. I can't remember his last name, so I apologize. But Daniel's been rumored to possibly be a takeover. Obviously, with variants, we get pretty easy. But again, that's where we're at with the MCU. It gets a little lazy. They can take a very easy out with that.
And I don't want Doom if there's no FF4.
You don't want any what?
I don't want Doom if there's no Fantastic Four. I'm sorry.
No.
Show me Doom,
Honestly,
and then 2 years from now, we get the Fantastic Four. Okay,
just reboot the
why don't you
whole
just
damn
give me
thing, man.
Magneto and I don't got the X-Men? Like, no.
No, I don't disagree with that,
All right.
but I would like to see Doom.
You want to give me
I-
Galactus before you give me that? I'm cool.
Yeah, that one's the one
You know what I
that
mean?
we should have been
You
waiting
want to
on
show
for a
me
minute.
like Apocalypse or something before you give me the X-Men? I might be able to chew on that bone.
Yeah.
A major villain like a Magneto or a Doctor Doom, and there isn't
No.
already an established, or they're in the same type of movie as these. No, dude.
I think Doom is still the biggest villain of the Marvel universe in my opinion.
Really?
I think Doom is. I think he's like the most reoccurring, menacing in every single different way. You've got the mystical side, you've got the manipulation politically side, you've got the cosmic side, you've got the earthly
Intelligence.
side, you got the love interest sides. Doom's fingers are in, and then you've not just the mystical, but I mean the hellscape side. I mean,
might have to
Doom's
go with
fingers are in
Magneto, bro.
everything.
I might have to go with Magneto, dude.
Dude, Magneto's still a one-trick pony. He's still just that one mutant. He's not dabbling in mystics. He's not. He's not.
He doesn't
cosmic
need to. That's
Yeah, but
the point.
magnetism is
Doom
in
has
everything.
to do all that because you know what? He doesn't
Doom's
have
manipulated
the power of
Magneto
magnetism.
umpteen times. Doom's. How many times has Doom in the comics manipulated other bad guys like Magneto? No, Doom is pentultimate.
Honestly,
Pentathlon.
guys, I would really like to go ahead and see the character that's already been mentioned 1,001 times, not by the characters, but by the audience as somebody we want to see with Mephisto. I'm ready for Mephisto.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
God.
want Mephisto just because I don't want the speculators to finally be like, he was Mephisto all along.
I don't want Mephisto
Yeah.
because it's not going to be the Mephisto that we all want.
Why do you think?
Well, I heard that Mephisto
What
was
do you mean?
cast.
Why do I think? Because it's Disney and it's Marvel.
Well, no,
They're gonna
I
go
already
ahead
heard
and
that.
Sprinkle that thing down with fairy dust, bro.
Well,
I
we've
hope
already
not.
been told. We've already been told that
Nope.
Mephisto's been cast. Has anybody seen the rumor sheets?
nah.
I've
Aubrey
seen the
Plaza
rumors.
is actually Mephisto.
I've seen the
Who?
rumors.
Aubrey
Who?
Plaza, which is
It's
actually
from-
something I'm okay with.
From
No
Legion?
way.
Crazy as shit. Yeah,
The-
Aubrey Plaza.
No way.
Aubrey
So
Plaza
she's in the
was-
Coven of Chaos, and rumor has it she is going to be Mephisto, or at least a version of Mephisto. Because Mephisto can be a girl, he can be a guy, he can be anything it wants to at any time. But just
Yeah,
like she was the
that's
Shadow
Oh,
King in
stop
X-Men,
it. You know
In
damn
Legion,
well
she was
Mephisto's a fucking dude.
she was the Shadow King in Legion, and she was fantastic. And if you haven't seen Legion,
Why don't we make
you are
Magneto
missing
a
out.
girl too? How about that?
You what?
We should make Magneto a girl too. How about that?
Well,
You
no.
got that
But
Why don't we make?
Mephisto
Why don't we make a
Mephisto's
Victoria
Mephisto's
Von
the devil.
Doom?
Mephisto's the devil. That's just it. Mephisto
She's
can
like
be
Toby
anything
jumping
it
shark.
wants to be at any time. But from what I was told, that whatever form it was in Coven of Chaos,
I'm gonna go
Aubrey
look up
Plaza is going to
Mephisto
be
right
it.
now. Let me know what all the Marvel and all the images you see on Google. Come on. Let's type in Mephisto right now, and you tell me what you think.
Oh, I'm not saying you're wrong, but at the end of the day, I'm telling you what I heard, and it's Aubrey Plaza.
All right, I'm not gonna kill the messenger, right, guys?
And I will say this though too.
Parks and Rec.
I love Aubrey Plaza. I love
Yes,
her. I think
she
she's
is
great. I think she's an amazing
Hey, I like
actress.
Margot Robbie too. I'm not saying she should be Batman though. Let's just calm it down here.
I remember seeing that they were going to do that guy Sacha Baron Cohen, the guy who plays.
I've heard that too.
Borat
But that's why I've heard
as-
though that
I thought that was
in
confirmed.
Coven of Chaos,
I thought too.
Aubrey Plaza's character is going to really be Mephisto, and Sacha Baron Cohen is going to be the the real Mephisto. But he can take any form he wants to. He can be a dog. He can be a thing on the wall. He can be a cat.
They need to
could
hire
have
some
big-
comic book fans over there at Marvel. I don't know who though making these movies. Okay,
Hey, they need to
don't
just
know.
put us in charge.
And
We need
actually
to just put
like
us in charge. Bro.
superheroes.
I got a feeling Aubrey Plaza is going to be the Ralph Boner of Mephisto.
Don't you dare say that name.
Just say.
Don't
Well,
you
it's from the
dare
same
say that
show,
name.
The Coven of Chaos, same spin-off show.
Dude, they
Well, guys-
trolled us so hard with that.
Theo, we're coming up on 2 hours, my friend. So
Yeah,
I do have to.
Let's cut it before I rage, guys. Make sure you sub up. We're at 933. We're almost at 1,000.
Almost.
We're almost at 1,000. Make sure you guys
Almost
like
there,
the video.
guys.
I think we got about 20 likes. We greatly appreciate that. I think we'll be back on for sure
Be on
next
Thursday.
We got Star Wars
Be on
on
Thursday.
Oh yeah.
When
Yeah,
is
we've
it?
got more Star
Thursday.
Wars stuff
That's pretty
coming
cool.
with Ahsoka and some breakdowns of the different series. We'll probably do a recap. So we've got more Star Wars content coming because Star Wars isn't stopping, and we know the week after that is May the 4th coming soon. You know,
New
Star Wars
series.
Day and Star Wars Visions
Yes,
second
sir.
season is
I'm
coming.
actually excited for that.
I
We
am
gonna watch right
excited for
many
that.
episodes on that episode of our show.
You guys made me watch it, and now I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
It's good. It's good, isn't
I
it?
love the fact that Rage, that you feel you loved it so much that you're like, yeah, I'm waiting for that.
Well, they were right.
Awesome.
I needed to watch it. They were right.
It is great.
It was good. It was good. And,
Okay.
and you know the fun
I made
fun
Phil
thing about
watch what is it? The massive amounts of tower. The Nick Cage
Oh, yeah.
movie with Peter Pascal.
Yep, I did.
Yeah, that was good.
That was
movie.
good. We were both right. We both had that right one nailed. But the good thing is about the stuff that we've been doing too. And, you know, obviously we've got Gabe in here who is also a big Star Wars fan. And obviously, you know, Ruben, you've been here with us as well. You know, Theo's definitely a Star Wars fan, but we're getting to subject him to some Star Wars stuff that he hasn't gotten to see yet. So it's kind of cool from like a growth standpoint as well, because it is because not everybody's a different level of different kinds of fans, right? So it's really cool to like be able to talk about something and then see like those dots connect for each one of us in different ways, because I don't know a lot of things about the comics, but Mac does. But I've got a hell of a lot of background in the Del Rey books and things of that nature, and then Theo's coming in here with a lot of his background of what he knows in Star Wars and is learning along the way. It's been a lot of fun these last few episodes. So I'm really looking forward to what Visions and Skeleton Crew and Ahsoka especially. But I've got a feeling there's going to be some big Star Wars announcements coming from CinemaCon this week, as well as obviously we know we've got some stuff coming from D23, but CinemaCon's going to potentially have that Fantastic Four, and it's going to potentially have some more Star Wars news and footage. So I'm geek, guys. DC's going to have some announcements as well too. Warner Brothers has got a big slate up there. A lot of new horror movies coming out.
Year for movies and shows, hands down. Yeah, there's still so much stuff coming out that it's just I'm ready.
Theo and I are going to have a lot more reaction trailers coming soon.
Oh yeah.
Game.
All All right, well, everybody, thank you so much for joining. As usual, shout out to all of our guests, even though two that aren't here right now, Jeff and Mikey, who have already departed, but obviously Gabe, Ruben, Mac, guys,
Thanks for
thank you
having
so
me.
much for making it out this week. I really appreciate you all. And until then, we're going to get
Yeah,
going.
funny.
Yeah, what they said. Right?
Take care, everybody.
Take care.